Shay family, it's your guy Edwin Rose, aka the Conscious Cowboy, aka the Las Vegas Cowboy, aka Armand Rose. Hey, I want you guys to tap in, man. I really want you guys to start tapping in. I want you guys to start paying attention to what your conscious people are saying. Um, I want to talk about history, and I'm not, and everybody's definition of history is going to be a tad different, right? I'm talking about how people continuously treat you. I'm talking about how a group of people continuously treat you. I'm talking about how a system is set up. I'm talking about learning history and studying history. And going back to what I said the first part, learning history. History is, if you study anything historically and you get down to the truth of it and you find all these things, right? You go and you dug and dove down the rabbit hole, right? Here's my issue with that. Maybe not so much of a big issue, but here's my issue. They say history repeats itself. If that's true, once we study history and we see that these things have happened multiple times, shouldn't that be our teacher? Shouldn't history be our biggest teacher? I don't care what you've gone through, somebody's gone through it before. So you went through it, granddaddy went through it, great-granddaddy went through it. Why the fuck are we still going through it? Because we really haven't paid attention to history and we haven't done things to stop those same things to happening. Now, I'm gonna bring up something. It's a little controversial. It's a little whoop-de-whoop. I've always said, love who you want to love. I've said it plenty of times to people. I don't care who you date. I don't care who you date. I don't care who you sleep with. It ain't my business. I don't give a fuck. What you do behind closed doors is not my business. But now, we have to look at historically, specifically black men dating white women. Why would you do that? Why would you date as a black man, young black man, old black man, mid-aged black man, date a white woman? Now, this conversation is brought up because of the Shannon Sharpe situation. This case is brought up. Do y'all remember the big boy from Baylor? The diesel cat from Baylor? I think it's number 2. Everybody thought he was AI. Before AI, everybody thought he was a computer-generated dude. Look up why he didn't make it to the NFL. Look up why he did not make it to the NFL. I don't remember his last name, but he's number 2. Baylor University, the green and gold. I mean, boy was like 6'8", 6'9", probably 3% body fat, cut. This boy wasn't even, I don't even think he was in his 20s yet. Y'all go see what happened to him. And I don't remember everybody's name. All right, off topic, but I can tell you in my lifetime, there's been people knocking at my grandmother's door looking for a cousin of mine because he dated his daughter. There's been situations that, shit, I shouldn't even use my cousin. I could have used myself. That I was, could have been a bad situation because, living in a small town, liking who like you, and not understanding how racist people are, and things could have went very bad. And for that reason, I'm glad my mother left Gina in Louisiana when we left Louisiana, because I wasn't aware of, I wasn't conscious, well, none of us was at that age, of how people looked at you, valued you, and treated you. We understood that there was racism. We understood that, but we didn't understand, you know, the totality of it. And I think a lot of us forget history and don't want to use history because you get to see the ugly face of people when you really study history. When you really go back, you start to see the ugliness, and then people are going to say, well, this is 2025 and it shouldn't be no more racism. It shouldn't be that. Why shouldn't it be that? Your perspective that there shouldn't be any racism versus people that are racist in this world that don't like you right now, that will kill you, that will lynch you, that will drag you and bury you in a ditch somewhere. And you want to say that will still hang you in trees. And you want to say, oh, this is 2025. That people, no, people are racist. People are going to not like you. And let's just go back to the dating. Let's get back on topic, right? Let's go back to the dating situation. For whatever reason, and you would have to ask these people, they will willingly sleep with you. Let's just use they're not supposed to be sleeping with you. They will willingly sleep with you. Then when they get caught, what's the first thing out of their mouth? Oh, he ate me. Oh, he ate me. You've been sleeping with this man and have, God, I need a new washer. And have no conscience about saying that. Will have no problem saying, hey, he ate me. You've been sleeping with this man for months. Oh, he ate me. You don't believe this? This is what I'm saying. History is our teacher. What happened with Rosewood? I know the movie was fictional, but it was based on true events. What happened to the 14-year-old young man? He ain't even ape her. He whistled. He whistled at her. And then they are, you know, you go back and forth. They saying that wasn't true, but then now you got some of his partners, his cousins that actually was out there and said, yeah, oh yeah, he did do that. But regardless, that happened. That story actually incited a whole situation where they beat this young man to death. History should be our teacher. So why would I put my life on the line for love, for fake love? Because that ain't real love. A woman that loves you should never say that you violated her. This is why I tell young men too right now, be patient, man. You don't have to get married. Wait. Because everything is a game right now. And the biggest game ran on black men is white women dating you. And if you don't give them money, if you don't pay them off, they will say you aped them and put you in jail, or they will bring up charges of that and take you to civil court and take money from you. That's historical. That's historical. So let history be our teacher. Stop following behind these people and saying that everything, there is no color. I don't see color. Man, everybody motherfucking else see color, but your black ass, your goofy ass. Stop letting people divide us because they want free love. No, they want a free paycheck. They want a free paycheck. So history being my teacher, history, you know, me being a researcher and history being my teacher, and historical data tells me to tell my young black men, don't date white women. Now, if you're already dating a white woman, if you're already in love with a white woman, like I said, I've always said, I don't give a fuck. I'm telling you who our teacher is. This is not Edwin telling you, because I already said, date who the fuck you want to date. I don't give a fuck who you date. I don't give a fuck who you fuck. And that goes for same sex, opposite sex, donkeys, animals, cars. That ain't my motherfucking business. I don't give a fuck. But history if history repeats itself, one thing that we should learn from history is the truth. One thing that we should do from history is learn from history. So history being my teacher, I would have to advise, don't do it. Don't date out of your race. Don't date out of your race, especially young men, especially if you make it to the league. If you become a doctor, you become successful, you become a high-paid YouTuber, you become an actor, you become whatever the case it is that you become a construction worker, you become a business owner, you become a cook, whatever it is that you become in life that says that you are here. I'm pretty sure there's a young lady out there that love your dirty draws, and you just won't give her the time of the day. I'm gonna tell you this as an elder. That's the woman that you need to bring up. I think that when we make it, we should always reach down and pull somebody up with us. Listen to me, family. I believe when we make it, I believe that we should reach down into our own community and pull someone up out of our own community. Not going to try to find somebody that got just as much as us and all this other stuff. That shit is, we'll talk about that on another video, but I just want to say this. We have to start using history. History is a powerful tool that we're not tapping into. We're not tapping into history. I won't go in depth about it, but I'll just give you this. All you guys that pledge whatever, you're a Greek, you're a Sigma, you're a cop, those are fraternities. Police officers is a fraternity. You're a Mason is a fraternity. So what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to start researching the history of these organizations. Understand the history of these organizations before you join them. If, once again, it's not Edwin being our teacher, it's history being our teacher. How did those institutions become? And then ask yourself, why are you part of that institution? Why the Kappas and the Bloods got the same gang symbols? Why the Kappas, the Bloods, and the Aryan Nation people have the same hand signal? You tell me. You tell me. You are indoctrinated in this bullshit. You tell me, why would I be indoctrinated? And then I want you to really dig deep and who created these organizations and why can I tie? This is me. I'm not indoctrinated in none of that bullshit. Why can I tie the Kappas, the Bloods, and white power all into one institution? And they're all connected by this. White power. And you think it mean blood. Just because you took it and started using it, it don't mean blood. Just because you took it and started using it, don't mean Kappa. It don't mean it. It's actually showing that it actually shows who your great grandfather was in line with. That's what it shows. But like I said, history should be our teacher. Go study the history of it. Go study the history of the fraternities. How did they start? Why did they start? And when did they start? And when they started, what were their copies of? And who were you meant to protect? All right. Let's start using history the correct way. History should be our teacher. Okay? I want you guys, when you start researching, just don't research and say, ooh, I found this. Research and say, ooh, I found this. Let me teach from this. Because if you find something, teach it. History is our teacher. We should be learning from history. We have to stay historically. Most interracial relationships that happen, especially and when you're young, don't last or end up with you going to jail, you being killed, or you being exploited. You can't prove me wrong. You gotta teach from history. You can do your best to try to prove Edwin wrong. You can do your best and try to. I've said a lot of wrong things. I don't need you to prove me wrong. You can't prove history wrong because history is written down. And now, me being an elder, I don't have to look up what's written down when it comes to certain situations because I remember them. I don't need you to tell me that black men been running from black women. What's that actor name? That black men literally have been running away from some white women because they know how toxic they are. But they still indulged in that because they just thought it was just, oh man, it's free love. I don't see color. No, stop that bullshit and see color because everybody else see color. Everybody else see your black ass. Everybody see who your black ass is dealing with. And everybody, and the people that actually say that you ape them have no conscience about it. Don't give two fucks about you. So how, once again, historically, how's that love? How? When a motherfucker can say it and use it against you and you go to jail and you get a strike against you or you get killed, how is that love? That's not love. That's a setup. All right, man. Study history, family. And when you study history, let history be your teacher, okay? Hotep.